The rush to finish the GOP tax overhaul has hit a snag as Republicans grapple with substantial differences between the House and Senate bills, and pause to consider unintended consequences of the most massive rewrite of the tax code in a generation. Lawmakers are eager to pass the bill, President Trump's top domestic priority, by Christmas. But they are also increasingly wary of political fallout from the hurried process and want to prevent embarrassing moments, such as the scribbled text hastily added to the margin of the final Senate bill. The end of any major legislative undertaking is often a sprint. But the final stretch of the GOP tax plan is being complicated by an accelerated process like none other in recent history. Republicans have made a decision, which I can't fault them for, that the longer this bill hangs out there, the more barnacles attach, said Jonathan Traub, the former Republican staff director at the House Ways and Means Committee and now managing principal at Deloitte's Tax Policy Group. We've seen time and time again, big issues left out in the sun too long start to attract vultures, he said. They need to move quickly to take advantage of the enthusiasm. Lawmakers are set to convene Wednesday for the first and perhaps only open meeting of a conference committee tasked with reconciling the House and Senate versions of the tax bills. The Republican staffs met privately over the weekend, and leaders fielded calls with Trump and Treasury Secretary Stephen T. Mnuchin, as they cobble together a final version without Democratic input. As the majority in Congress, Republicans are relying on special budget rules to pass the bill on their own to bypass the threat of a Democratic filibuster. Questionable special interest. Questionable special interest. Yet even with control of the House, Senate, and the White House, Republicans have struggled to resolve differences over individual income brackets, allowable deductions, and when corporate rate cuts will take effect. A hoped-for deal over the weekend did not materialize as talks continued. The legislation is already bumping against the $1.5 trillion cap Republicans are allowing in deficit spending, but many changes lawmakers want to make, such as reinstating a planned repeal of the medical expenses deduction or shelving an idea to tax graduate student tuition stipends, have left them scrambling to make tweaks elsewhere to pay for them. One possible change now being debated is whether to nudge the corporate tax rate, now proposed to drop from 35% to 20% in both bills, up to 21% or 22%. There continues to be deep resistance from GOP business allies, even though Trump has said he would be open to it. Such a shift would generate some $200 billion to pay for other provisions of the plan. The GOP tax plan on the cusp of becoming law diverges wildly from the promises President Donald Trump and top advisors said they would deliver for the middle class, an evolution that shows how traditional Republican orthodoxy swamped Trump's distinctive brand of economic populism as it moved through. The GOP tax plan on the cusp of becoming law diverges wildly from the promises President Donald Trump and top advisors said they would deliver for the middle class, an evolution that shows how traditional Republican orthodoxy swamped Trump's distinctive brand of economic populism as it moved through.